Good evening, this is Pat Walker with MissionWinners.com, and I love teaching. I love informing people of different things, and especially in the realm of investing. I used to teach on the university level, and I thoroughly enjoy just trying to help people speed up a learning curve in any different realm. In this case, we're talking about investing, and we're talking about stocks. And it's a unique situation. Every once in a while, you can find a stock that you can hold for a longer period of time. But you have to be really careful. There's a moral to the story. First off, you've got to make sure that it's a good company. But I can show you examples of really good companies that have done nothing for over a decade. I can show you examples of companies that have done really well recently. But we're going to look at a big Dow stock. This is, I guess you could call this safe. Although no stocks are safe, I'm going to be honest. But I want to show you a chart. This is a weekly chart on Boeing. This is a big Dow stock, and it's really made a good run here from back in the first part of 2016 all the way through 2017. You can see this. Here's the moral to the story. How important it is, if you look at this chart, you can say, well, it went up here and then it flopped around. It flopped around, it flopped around, it flopped around, it flopped around. This whole period, for almost 2 years, you have nothing to show for it. Nothing. In fact, if you bought this stock near these highs at around 155, you could say, well, I'm just going to own it. It's easy to look back with hindsight and say, oh, it was great just to hold through it. It went from 155 and hit a low of 109. You lost basically about 30% of your money. So you could say, well, that's no big deal. I'll just hold on to it. When you're down 30%, you don't know if it's going to come back or not. So you have to be careful. So what is the moral for all of us? It's this. You must buy properly. What's properly? You've got to buy it coming out of a long base, whether it be a weekly base like I have right here or possibly a monthly base, but you have to have some kind of a pattern that it's going through, and a long base is what you're looking for. So check this out. Right there, back in February of 2015, Boeing hit a high of around $159 a share. And take a look at, you see that cursor line I just draw, the goldenrod line going across there? It went sideways for, as I said, almost 2 years. 2 years. And then right here, on this bar right here, it pushed above those tops. And it did it on the weekly on a big pickup in volume. Right there is your safe entry spot. Right there. Long base with volume confirmation. Relative strength was really strong. Now here's something interesting. Why did this stock do this? Right there. Earnings. Right there. They released earnings that week. And that was the week it broke out of this long pattern and then continued a nice, steady march, which is what we want. Trends pay. Look at that with the moving average. It's just walking up the moving average. As long as it rides there, you'll stay with it and let it work. How long? Who knows? Till it stops. We don't know the future. We just get in line with what is. Again, I stress, a long base, and it breaks through those tops on a big pickup in volume, on a weekly chart or a daily chart, and then you let it work. Relative strength was strong. Those were good earnings. 54% increase in earnings that quarter. That's what we're looking for. Good earnings, preferably in a really good group, good base, and then you let it work. By the way, I've said this before. I don't day trade. I'm not an in and out guy. But if I buy something and it drops and fails on me, I will sell it. And you can say, well, Pat, gosh, it just has to come back. No, it doesn't. We don't impose our will on the stock. We let the stock tell us what to do. There's a good quote from David Landry. I've had it taped to my monitor for years. I'll believe in what I see and not in what I believe. I've got to be careful, and I've got to run it like a business. Long base, breakout. And remember this, just because it is a franchise name doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do extremely well. And I could show you a couple examples of that too. But that's it. That's what we're looking for. And then we just let it work. Let it work, let it work, let it work. Where does it stop? You don't know. You just ride it for what it's worth. That's what we have. I wanted to share that with you. I like these. Have I held stocks for a long time? Yeah, I've had stocks that I've held upwards of a year or so. You bet. But when they lose their pattern and they fall through long bases and fail, that's a trigger to sell. So that's what we have, and I hope this helps you. Again, good groups, good stocks, longer bases, pushing through clean tops on a volume spike, preferably with good earnings and or sales. And it had that. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you.